had no idea what I was doing. And then I learned really quick that what it came down to was relationships. And it came down to building and connecting and creating a culture within my team where they wanted to show up. They wanted to be there. They wanted to do the work. And so the first thing I'm going to talk about is team culture. To me, team culture is everything. So, have you created a team culture where your coaches want to be there? They go into the team page and they leave better, in a more positive state. Think about your team page. What kind of posts are there? Are they negative? Are they complaining? Are they draggy? What's there? Is it uplifting? Is it encouraging? Is it recognition? Is it positive? Is there support? Because those are the things that are going to keep people coming back. And there's so much power in your coaches staying plugged into the mothership. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to do this business alone, but it's terrible. And when my coaches kind of go MIA a little bit, or when they unplug, or when they disconnect from what's going on within the team, it's just a matter of time before they're coming back complaining about not being able to figure stuff out, feeling down, feeling discouraged, feeling like they're just down and out. And I'm like, you've got to stay plugged in. You've got to stay connected with the energy and with the people who have your back. So make sure that you're creating this culture within your team. So I'm going to talk about my team culture for a sec. Early on, it was really surfacey. It was about, like I talked about yesterday, it was about selling challenge packs and getting challengers and helping with their fitness, which is great, but it's so much deeper than that. And so early on, I want to make sure that my new coaches understand that this business and this new opportunity that they've just joined is all about growth. It's all about becoming the best version of themselves, and it's probably going to take a long time to do it. They're going to have that early on. This isn't about hitting Success Club in 3 days and hitting Emerald in a day and then hitting Diamond in 30 days. I don't care about that stuff anymore. Yes, I want to develop them. I want them to grow their business. I want them to have success. But I want them to understand first that this is a journey. So the first thing that I do with my new coaches is I try and really get to know them. So as soon as someone signs up, I send them a welcome checklist. And it's a new coach form. I made it on Google Drive. And it goes through all these things. So first it goes through some of the foundational things. It's a welcome video from me, just excited that they're there so we have that connection. Because lots of the people that are coming in, I don't know them personally. They're cold market. They're people that have reached out or I've invited them after building the relationship or whatever. We don't know each other. So I want to really get to know them. I want them to get to know me and see what this is all about. Then it goes into some just foundational information about it. Introduces Success Club, Emerald, how to stay active, how to set up their back office, just those things that they can kind of boom, 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 and go through really quick. And then it goes to an About Me form, and this is where I find out about them. And then it goes on to give them access to our team training site. So what I find out about them are these things right here. I want to know their goals. I want to know, why are you here? What do you want out of this? Like big picture and little. I ask them specifics. I want to know their why. I want to know what drives them. I want to know what's going to keep them showing up and what I can bring up again when they start to take a step back, when they start to forget why they got started. I want to know their current situation. Are you working full time? Are you a mom of triplets and a toddler and a 4-year-old and I can understand when you're crazy? Like, I need to know those things so that I know what I'm working with when I'm mentoring them. I want to know their reservations and their fears. Why would you want to know this? There's a thing called personal development, and then I can help recommend the books and the audio and the podcasts and those things that are going to help them be intentional with their personal growth. Because if they can be intentional about those things, not just throw some books up and say, good luck, here's this, I hope it helps you, it helped Sally. No, you want to know what they're struggling with so you can help them overcome the things that they need. language. I talk a lot about love languages and different things with relationships and things like that because my husband and I had struggled and we had to learn these things to get to a good place. So I implement those things with my coaches. I want to know what speaks to them. Do they need words of affirmation? Do they love gifts? Do they love quality time, one-on-one, getting on calls? Because it's going to be different for each person. And then I want to know how I can best support them. I ask them straight up, do you want tough love? Do you want just honest criticism, feedback? Or do you just want and need support and encouragement? Because I promise you, if someone feeds off of support and encouragement and you give them tough love, they're going to go, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever. And they're going to quit. So make sure that you understand how you can mentor them, okay? I stay in super close contact with my coaches, especially my new coaches, and then it kind of goes through waves of how we interact, okay? So I'm going to walk you through this. First, I want them to know that I'm invested in their learning process. Yes, we have systems in place. Yes, we have these things. They have all the tools and the resources that they need to have success as soon as they get access to our training site and our team page. Everything is there. But does that mean I'm going to go, thanks for signing up, peace? No, I want them to know that I'm there for them every step of the way. They have the tools, they have the things, but I'm still interacting with them. I'm still reaching out and saying, hey, how's the training going? Where are you at? What do you need help with? And we're having that contact. Lots of it's Facebook Messenger. Lots of it, we have a once a month is all I do. I do not do GSR calls with my new coaches, one-on-one. I know that's like, oh my gosh, everyone says to do that. But for me, I tried it out for 1 month. I know I could have probably done it longer. But I tried it out for 1 month, did it with 3 coaches, was on the phone for like 45 minutes with each of them, and they all quit the next month. So I went, okay, well, I don't know if that works for me. So I just have figured out what works for me, figure out what works for you. If GSR calls work for you, awesome, do them. I think they're powerful. But I do a new coach call once a month. And my systems are constantly evolving. Like this new system that I'm talking about is something that I implemented at the beginning of the year. So it's constantly evolving. So what I do now is I have a new coach call that's specific for any coach who's just signed up or any coach who needs just to be rejuvenated, who feels like they're in a rut and they just need to get a jump start. We get on this call, that's basics. It's going over what they need to be doing, the foundation, the actions that's going to get the ball rolling. Then I also jump in live in our PS team page twice a month, and those are scheduled, so they can expect it. They know I'm gonna jump in there every other Monday at noon, and just, that's open book, ask me anything, what are you struggling with, what do you need to go over? I go over game plans, I go over anything that we need to chat about, and that happens twice a month. So that's the face-to-face stuff that my new coaches get. And then I make sure that I am supporting them as challengers first, whether they are getting into the business for the business, or whether they are kind of apprehensive and want to have their journey first. I make sure that no matter what, I want them showing up in my challenge group. I want them getting the results. I want them building belief in the amazing products that we have, because they're never going to have success as a coach unless they believe in it, okay? Next, I get them set up in a success pod. So what I found has been a game changer for my coaches is creating these message threads. So anyone that is a business builder, anyone who has any sort of interest in working the business and helping people, they get added to my new coach message thread. Basically, it's just that. It's a message thread with anyone who is a coach until they get to Emerald. They're all in here, they're connecting with each other, they're building relationships, they're bouncing ideas back and forth, they're asking what's working, and they have that contact with more than just me. Because when they have contact with other people, it's going to be harder for them to say, man, I don't know if this is for me. Micah's too busy for me. She has a huge team. She doesn't care about me anyways. These are the things that go through a new coach's head. They see this big team, they see all this activity, and they think they're not important, but they are. And it helps them feel important when they're engaged with more people than just me. I'm in there though, and I'm interacting and I'm engaging and I'm helping them. But they're also connecting with other people. This is also where they find success partners. I randomly will go in there and say, hey, who doesn't have a success partner yet? Let's get you hooked up. And that will help as well. And this will help you not go so crazy. Because while you want to be in close contact with your coaches, you also have to work your business, and you also have to run your family, and you also have to do your career, or whatever you have. So you can't just be talking to them all day, every day. That would drive you nuts. So having a success partner will help take some of that away from you as well. And this is where they will, one of the things that I love most about this pod specifically is this is where they'll say, I'm getting ready to post my first new coach post or whatever, that announcement, and they freak out over it and they're scared and they're nervous. And I say, Kate, let's go tell the pod so they can go and support you. So they'll say, okay, I just posted, and they'll throw it in there, and then all of that pod will run over to our post, and they'll go, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you, you're gonna rock this. And just that excitement and that love and that encouragement, they're like, I can do this. Okay, I have people behind my back, and that's huge for a new coach. I also have an Emerald to Diamond pod. I also have a Diamond to 5-star pod, and then I have my 5-star to quadruple superstars, whatever their goals are. That is another pod. So this has created an atmosphere where I can mentor them and I can guide them and support them at the level and at the just at the level that they need to be supported, because it's relevant to what they're doing in their business. Okay? Next, I help my coaches dream big but act small. I want them to get clear on their vision, the big why they're doing this, what they're here for, what this is all about. But I don't want that to paralyze them to the fact where they don't do anything. Because sometimes that can be so far off and it can seem so unattainable that then they don't act or do any of the little stuff. So I help them understand early that coaching is a marathon journey and it's not a sprint. They need to be in this for life, for the long haul, for the journey. And then I help them understand that stuff is gonna come up. Roadblocks are gonna come, naysayers, negativity, all of those things that come into coaches' lives, I help them expect those things so that when it comes, they're like, oh, this is what Michael was talking about. I can handle this, I got this. And then they can tell me, and I can help them through it too. I also find many reasons to recognize and empower my coaches. Any chance you get, any little milestone, when someone's just showing up like a rock star in your challenge group, shout them out. Give them that empowered feeling of, holy moly, someone cares, and I can do this. When they sell their first challenge pack, when they do their first new coach post, whatever it is, it varies person to person. I don't shout every single new coach out that sells their first challenge pack. I would go crazy. But when I know a coach is struggling, and they've had to talk to a lot of people, and they've had to hear a lot of no's, and they finally get that first yes, you better believe I am shouting them out, and I'm giving them love, and I'm helping them understand that what they're doing matters. And one of the greatest things that I have learned over the past 3.5 years is that everything in this business comes down to relationships. Everything, what we do with our challengers, what we do with our coaches, how we share our journey, how we connect with people, everything. So, like I said, I do not do GSR calls with my new coaches, but I try to get as much face-to-face time as possible, within reason, right? Can't hang out with them all day, every day, even though sometimes I wish I could. So I do leader calls, and I do one-on-one mentoring calls, actually 2-on-1, with my diamond and above leaders. I want to make sure that I'm giving them special time and attention that they need to grow their businesses forward. Because it's not like, oh, you're a diamond, you figured this out. You should know this stuff. That's where the fun starts. And so I make sure that now that Brig is a little bit bigger, The kids are a little bit bigger. I'm at a place where I can schedule business hours and set up calls and have a routine. And so that's what you need to find in your life. What works for you at this phase? Once you figure it out, it'll probably change in a couple months. But that's why we just need to evolve and grow and work it where we can. Anytime that we can get together as a team, I do. My family's in Utah, we're in Idaho. Anytime I go down there, I'm trying to connect with some of my coaches. I'm trying to get together with them just to go to lunch or to do whatever. But anytime you can create that connection, it's going to be valuable. When I came into town, I got off the plane. I wanted to go to the hotel and relax for a little bit. But there was a couple coaches who wanted to meet up for lunch and who wanted to just talk about the business and talk about stuff. They're not even my PS coaches. They're in my downline. And I was like, yeah, sure, we'll make it happen. And it was so much fun. And I know that that stuff means a lot to them. So what are you doing to connect with the coaches on your team? And do they feel valued? Do they feel valued as a person, not just as a coach? Are you connecting with them about life? Not just when they're losing rank, not just when they're struggling. Because one of the things that I've learned, I have a coach who was one of my rock stars, she still is, but she was sick. She got sick for like 6 months. And we were busy, we were building a business, we were helping, we have a lot of people on our team. And I would reach out to her every once in a while because I knew something was off, but she just wasn't sharing as much. I didn't really know what was going on. And I would just check in on her, not as often as I should have though. And I was talking to her the other day, and she was just saying, one of the things that people talk about the business is that, like, the community, the culture, I didn't feel that when I got sick. She's like, my team forgot about me. You would reach out every once in a while, but I still felt like you were so busy. And that's when I was like, holy moly, like, this is everything. People need to feel loved and valued as people. That goes for our challengers and that goes for our coaches. So make sure that you remember, don't just look at them as someone who's filling a spot on your team, who's helping you hold rank, who's going to get you to your next goal. They're people whose lives are changing because of this process and because of what we get to do every single day. So think about it for a second. Is your team culture where you want it to be? What can you do, if it's not, to get it there? And I want you guys to make a list on your notes. 5 people, 5 coaches that you haven't talked to lately. Life's got busy, they aren't showing up, you're not reaching out, you're not seeing their stuff. One of the things that I've done is I've made an interest list with all of my PS coaches on there. So that every few days I can make sure that I make intentional time to go and love on their stuff as humans, as people, just to see how they are. Because I care about them first as normal people, and second, I want them to rock the heck out of the business. And last, what can you do to create the vibe that you want within your team page? Team culture, to me, is everything. What we do in the business changes lives, but the greatest blessing are the people that you get to meet and that you get to surround yourself with. And I can't even look over there without crying because I see my girls. In my life, it's so much better because there it is. So go find more people that you can lock arms with and change lives together. And I'm supposed to think of one word. Okay, I remember this. I'm going to tell you my word of why I do Beachbody, what it's all about. And to me, it's calling. And I think that's when everything changed for me, was when it no longer was about, it wasn't a job, it wasn't freedom. Those were things that it was early on. It was freedom. But then it became so much more than that. It became a calling. I knew that what I was doing mattered on so many levels. No matter if they ever ordered anything, ever did anything with Beachbody, we talk about our marriage, we talk about our family. Those things are changing people's lives on so many levels. And it's what makes me show up every single day. So figure out why you're doing this. and then do it every single day. Okay.
That was just a hug. You guys, yeah, let's hear it for Michael Bolton, you guys. That was amazing. And these words are awesome, aren't they? Like every speaker's like gets me all like clapped before I come out here. You guys are